What's up, guys? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about AMP. AMP has almost fallen off a cliff in terms of price, and I still think there's a really large chance that this is going to rally back. So I want to get exactly into this because there's a few things that a lot of people have not considered here. Also, the Doge founder has come out suggesting that if one particular crypto crashes, it would cause the biggest crash in crypto history. So I want to cover this as well. Before I get into it though, if you are brand new to the channel, you won't know who I am, and you'll also be wondering why you should listen to me. All fair. So these are the first 26 coins I spoke about on the channel. They're the first 26 coins I owned when I made the channel. And had you just put in $100 into each of these coins when I released videos about them, and you had done everything wrong as an investor, never sold them or anything, you're just still holding them, you'd be in profit for 7.8k, doing everything wrong. But if you'd done the right thing, if you'd sold these coins last year when the markets were flying high, you could have made 123k. Absolutely enormous difference between doing the right thing and the wrong thing. Obviously, I sold all of these last year. These are not the coins I own anymore. If you want to see the coins I own, go to copymycrypto.com. On that site, I share my entire portfolio. Every coin I buy and every coin I sell. We have tutorials set up for anyone that wants to get into crypto and doesn't know where the hell to start. If you're interested, I do videos every day as well, talking about the markets. But if you want to go there and just copy my portfolio, I've been in this market for 8 years. I'll deep dive into the fundamentals of cryptos, find ones that are going to do massive gains, like I said with Phantom, where I said it would at least 100x, and it did a 677x. Now I will find another Phantom, I'll get in on it, I'll go onto the site, I'll tell the members. I'm not going to do some Udemy course like last time. So again, if you want to just get in on the next big coin and copy along, all you have to do is go to the site and join. Links in the description. So, AMP, 0.3 cents right now. All-time high, I believe, was 11 cents. Yep, 11 cents. So it's about 30x from where it is now. I believe it can do that again. I really do. I believe it can hit at 10 cents or more. So what AMP is it's effectively it offers instant and verifiable crypto transfers. It is utilized by multiple payment processors, including Flexor. And if you're unfamiliar with Flexor, Flexor has literally adopted every possible payment processor and is utilized by merchants all over the world. The whole point of AMP is to be as versatile as possible. It works across as many blockchains as it can possibly do, and it supports all varieties of collateralization so that you can make the most of your crypto. Now, really interesting premise and quite different from what's out there, but I want to address some concerns, one of which is that the SEC believe AMP is a security. So you do have to bear that in mind, because the SEC have been very aggressive in how they've gone after cryptos, and they certainly believe AMP is one that has all the hallmarks of the definition of a security. And while AMP have come out and said they're not, while Coinbase have come out and said that it's not, the SEC are not exactly one for sensible behavior, as we have seen over the past year, where they've just aggressively attacked as many cryptos as possible. So you do have to bear that in mind, because if they were to file a lawsuit against AMP, that's going to drag on in the same way that the Ripple case will. Now, AMP helps you decentralize risk with their smart contract features. The whole premise is that AMP collateralization allows people to build apps that lock and unlock AMP on demand to secure transfers and enable lending and make value moves more quickly. It's asset agnostic. So it doesn't matter what kind of crypto it is. Any kind of transfer, whether it's digital or physical, can use AMP as collateral to secure all the transactions. So AMP has a way of getting through transactions on multiple different cryptos by utilizing the AMP token. So AMP's actual token has a lot of utility there. Plus, when new projects adopt AMP, existing implementations benefit from huge boosts in liquidity, benefits in decentralization, and this in turn reduces the volatility and enhances the collateral quality because AMP is fixed. AMP is not going to be inflationary ever. That is a good sign as well. So whether it's that you want to stake or send, the AMP token is what is utilized to remove the risk of asset transfers. And they've been adopted by a hell of a lot from Flexer. Don't discount Consensus, by the way. Consensus are so massive, vital that you're aware of that. Consensus are enormous. So the fact that they work with AMP is a great, great sign. Obviously, Coinbase, Gemini, Bittrex, Poloniex, these are the exchanges, Crypto.com as well, and all the decentralized exchanges. Plus, Binance. I don't know why they haven't updated to include Binance. And this is what I mean. They can be utilized across every DEX, across every centralized exchange. Flexer, as I've said, is the fastest, most fraud-proof payments network in the world. They have guaranteed settlements as well as flexible integration. They've adopted AMP because AMP benefits them hugely too. They are supported by an enormous ecosystem with tons and tons and tons of different wallets embedded into this, and AMP can be used with those wallets. They are also trusted by over 41,000 locations in the US and Canada. Now, if they can be heavily adopted in Canada, they bode really, really well. And if you're unfamiliar, obviously there's tons of ways you can stake AMP, whether it's on the Flexer network or through, via MetaMask. And they go through all the methodologies here, but I'm not going to go through all of that because that's time consuming as hell. So AMP has a lot of potential. Then they're backed very, very well by the biggest exchanges, the biggest DEXs, the biggest wallets around. And right now, probably hugely undervalued. Market cap of 143 million. I do actually think this can drop even more. I would not be surprised if this dropped by another 66%. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up 0.1%. And that could be a bargain price for a crypto that is and was one of the biggest gainers in the previous bull cycle. Ran up from again, 0.1% or so, all the way up to 10 cents. Really, really good gains there. Maybe, and if it does the same thing again, that's money, guys. That's so much money. But at the very least, from this point, I still think it can run up to about 10 cents. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you're a returning viewer, hit the subscribe button. We are trying to get the subscribers way, way up. What that does is it benefits the channel in so many ways, not least of which I could get founders of projects into the channel, interview them. If there was any that you were particularly interested, you can let me know in the comments down below. So help us grow the channel. And guys, if you want to see the coins I own right now, at this moment, go to copymycrypto.com. On that site, I share everything I own. Every time I buy a coin, I let the members know. Every time I sell a coin, I let the members know. We have tutorials for anyone, so there is no barrier to entry for crypto. These tutorials I send my friends and family that want to get into crypto. And look, I've deep dived these markets consistently for 8 years. I go through the fundamentals of projects. I find the projects I want to get in on, and you can literally copy along. It saves you all the research time. You can just see what I'm doing and copy my investments if you want to. But all you have to do, guys, is go to the site. The link, folks, is in the description. And last thing, so Doge founder says that if Binance or Tether collapse, then it will be game over for crypto. He believes that anyone worrying about Binance and or Tether collapsing, if either does, it's pretty much game over. It's good that more of y'all are finally figuring out that this whole thing is and how the centralization stuff is a big old weakness. But also, it was like this when you bought too. And Jack Dorsey was among those that agreed with his assumption that a potential meltdown will undoubtedly be game over for the games if either of those two were to crash. Now, Binance, to be fair, has assured its balance sheet is stable and topped it up to protect customers in case of an emergency. They have no desire whatsoever, obviously, to have the FTX contagion affect them, and they've been around a while, but I will continue to say this: nothing is too big to fail. Lehman Brothers failed. Nothing's too big to fail. FTX failed. FTX was huge. Nothing ever is too big to fail. So if you're sitting with all your funds on exchanges, reckless. Get your funds off exchanges, folks. But one thing I'll say, I've certainly looked into both of these. There's no evidence right now that they're in any risk of collapsing from the open data that I've seen. But how much of it is hidden is a different matter. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. Take it easy. Bye-bye.